Amazing Hamilton performance in qualification. Something he's not always done this season. And P1 doesn't automatically mean winning.
No, you're right. It doesn't mean winning, but he's also been handed some very, very good news in the last few minutes, Alistair. His main rival, Max Verstappen's been given a 5-place grid penalty for overtaking under yellow flags yesterday in qualifying. So he will start 7th today as opposed to 2nd. So an even better news for Hamilton. As you say, always, a pole doesn't necessarily guarantee a win, but that's fantastic news for him, really, in the championship fight. So, yeah, a bit of breaking news there. Bottas, his teammates, also been penalised, chucked back a couple of places, also for overtaking under yellow flags. So it's Pierre Gasly that actually joins Hamilton on the front row today. So it's looking good for Hamilton in Doha.
As you say, breaking news I didn't know, and I'm trying to cover the fact that I'm literally grinning from ear to ear. And of course, in what is being judged by many as Lewis's best ever drive in Brazil last weekend, he was heavily penalised, back for the sprint start, back in not quite the middle of the field, but low down, and went on to win it. Let's be clear, you and I are both Hamilton supporters, but Verstappen is no amateur.
No, absolutely. He's definitely no amateur. But let's see. It's not going to be easy for him to come back through the field. As you said at the top of the show, it's the first race in Qatar, so we don't really know how it's going to run in terms of whether there'll be a lot of overtaking or whether there won't be. But the prediction is it's going to be quite hard to follow here, which means it's hard to overtake, which should mean it'll be difficult for Verstappen to make it back through the pack, which again is good news for Hamilton, who's 14 points ahead of 14 points behind Verstappen. Going into today's race with just 2 to go after the conclusion of today's race. So, yeah, it'd be great to see Verstappen coming back through the pack. If he gets anywhere near the drive that Hamilton managed to put in last week when he came in from 10th on the grid to win that race, which was probably his, one of his finest drives. I'm sure you'll agree. So, yeah, it's all again set up for a great race, but advantage Hamilton in this championship that keeps going from one way to the other.
Agree with all of that. Final quick one, if I may. Qatar is red rag to a bull for many on human rights issues, and something that's very dear to Hamilton's heart. OK, he's wearing a rainbow helmet. Does it slightly surprise you that he hasn't been more outspoken on Qatar's problems, particularly as it's today 1 year to the start of the World Cup?
At the beginning of the week, he was obviously asked about it, Alistair, and he said, that Formula One needs to address, the situation. The sport can't keep going to countries with questionable human rights records. We're in Saudi Arabia next week, so he wants to see the problem addressed, but he can't do it alone. He can't be the only driver that speaks out about it. Obviously, as you said as well, he's wearing his rainbow helmet, the Racing Pride helmet, which will be, another a point that he's making, about the human rights record where we're in Qatar. So, yeah, we'll see. But I think he's doing his bit, or he's doing as much as he thinks he can at the moment, and probably relying on the sport to be able to do more, I guess.